Good evening, everyone and members of the public. My name is Mally Rosado, and I'm the council president for the city of Hartford. I'm calling to order this regular scheduled council meeting of Monday, April 26, 2021. For the members of the public who are with us tonight, you could view this council meeting via Facebook through Hartford Public Access TV. Or channel 96 through Comcast cable. I want to welcome everyone to this meeting. And with that said, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Present.
Councilman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilman LeBron. Councilman LeBron.
Here. Sorry.
Councilman Mitchum.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rosado.
Present. I apologize.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilman Sanchez.
Present.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now our town clerk will lead us on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place the following items on the consent calendar, and also wanted to note that there is an additional walk-on item, which will serve as item number 28 that all of the body has, including the clerk's office. Item number 3, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution. I'm sorry, I don't even remember if I said it. I would like to make the motion we place the following items on the consent calendar. Thank you.
Second.
So,
Second the motion.
I didn't read them yet.
Just a quick point of order. If there's any item that is on the extended agenda, do we need to suspend the rules first and add those
I'm
things?
sorry. Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Councilman, because I'm moving too much ahead of myself. There's a couple other items I need to go ahead to discuss, to offer up as a motion. Through you, Madam President, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the minutes of the April 12th, 2021 meeting.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions with them regards to the minutes? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the meeting to add the following items onto our agenda. Which
Suspension of the rules.
Searching of the rules, yes.
Okay.
And I'll read them as follows. Item number 23, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution to place the additional funding, should it be included in the state budget that is ultimately adopted by the General Assembly, signed by the governor, into the city's capital improvement plan budget for investments in the city infrastructure, including but not limited to parks, traffic, calming streets and sidewalks, and public safety radio infrastructure. Item number 24, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution that would authorize the city to utilize $5 million, which have been set aside in committed fund balance for addressing economic uncertainty, to the Capital Region Development Authority for the purposes of providing loans that will allow us to return city-owned property back on the tax rolls. Item number 25, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution that will allow us to move forward with remediating city-owned blighted property, including but not limited to 270 Albany Avenue and adjoining retail properties. These properties were recently acquired by the city through a tax deed sale. Item number 26, Public Works, Parks, Recreation, Environment Committee with accompanying resolution confirming the reappointment of Brian Gallagher and appointment of Naisha McCauley as the representative of Friends of Bushnell Park to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. Item number 27, resolution requesting that the honor and memorialize Joe Marfugi's outstanding contribution to Hartford, the riverfront parks and riverfront recapture. The Court of Common Council heartily approves the naming of the new Riverwalk, the Joe Marfugi Riverwalk. And item number 28, Mayor Brown with the company resolution authorizing the city to enter into a 15-year fixing agreement with Spinnaker Real Estate Partners LLC of 1 North Water Street in Norwalk, Connecticut.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Councilman Mixtum?
Sorry, forgive me just because there was some other noise and it was a little hard to hear. Were 4 and 6 on that list or no?
No, Councilman, these are just I just mentioned the names of the resolutions that are being added to the agenda.
Oh, okay. I beg your pardon. That's the outside sound distracted me.
Okay. A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mishton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place the following items on our consent calendar. Item number 3, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the city to apply for a 12-month extension to complete work on a federal Ryan White CARES Act project, which ended on March 31st, 2021. These funds will be used to support individuals with COVID-19 in Hartford and other municipalities supported by the grant. Item number 12, communication concerning Universal Basic Income Task Force. Initial report drafted by the membership and is being submitted to the council for review. Item number 13, committee of the whole with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of Charles Matthews to the position of Director of Development Services. Item number 14, committee of the whole with accompanying resolution confirming the appointments of Ms. Yvette Bello, Mr. Jim Schmerling, and Pastor A.J. Johnson to the Hartford Board of Education. Item number 15, Quality Life and Public Safety Committee with accompanying resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant award under the 2020 Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant Program from the Office of the United States Attorney, District of Connecticut, in the amount of $55,705. Item number 16, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying resolution authorizing the City of Hartford to enter into a 10-year tax abatement agreement with Hartford Assisted Living LP to support affordable rental housing located at 90 Retreat Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut, known as the Retreat Assisted Living Facility. Item number 17, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying resolution that will authorize and empower the city to amend an agreement between the city and Diligent at the request of the clerk's office to run for a term of 3 years instead of 1 year. Item number 18, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to waive building permits and related fees on a major public housing renovation being undertaken by the Housing Authority of the City of Hartford at 5 locations: Mary Shepherd Place, 275-293 Bellevue Street, 7-21 Sanford Street, 123-125 Martin Street, and 31-33 Capon Street. Item number 22, resolution requesting that in honor of Roberto Clemente, the City of Hartford respectfully calls on the United States Secretary of the Interior to recognize the historical significance of Roberto Clemente's place of death in Loiza, Puerto Rico, by adding it to the National Register of Historical Places. Item number 26, Public Works, Parks, Recreation Environment Committee with a company resolution affirming the reappointment of Brian Gallagher and appointment of Naisha McCauley as a representative of Friends of the Bushnell Park to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. Item number 27, resolution requesting that to honor and memorialize Joe Marfucci's outstanding contribution to Hartford and the Riverfront Parks and Riverfront Recapture. The Court of Common Council here heartily approves the naming of the new Riverwalk, the Joe Marfucci Riverwalk. And item number 28, Mayor Brown with the company resolution authorizing the city to enter into a 15-year tax fixing agreement with Spinnaker Real Estate Partners LLC of 1 North Water Street, Norwalk, Connecticut.
I second the motion.
Mr. Majority Leader, there's some background noise. Can you please repeat the numbers and make sure I have them correct?
Okay, the numbers for the consent calendar are items number 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 26, 27, 28.
Thank you.
I second the motion again.
A motion has been made and properly second. Just for clarification, process, Councilman Clark, item number 16, and because of the background noise, I couldn't hear. Did you reference as amended?
My apologies. It is a substitute. It is a substitute resolution that has been filed in the clerk's office.
Okay, thank you.
It recognizes the amendment that we discussed in committee.
Thank you, Councilman. Are there any other further discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we receive the following items. Item number 10, Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee communication requesting that the Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee of the Court of Common Council take up at its next meeting the question of what recommendations to make, if any, concerning the impending renegotiation of the police union contract, labor between the Hartford Police Union and the City of Hartford. Item number 11, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee communication to postpone the remaining items on the last OMBGA agenda due to the time restraints and already scheduled public comment.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Councilwoman Bermudez.
For no clarification, those are items received, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Clerk, I'd like to go back to the consent calendar. I do apologize. I forgot to recuse myself from item 16,
Yes.
the
Okay.
resolution for the Hartford Housing Authority.
Duly
Thank
noted.
you. Thank you. Councilman Clark, you have the floor. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I would like to make the motion that we refer the following items to the said committees. Item number 1, Mayor Bronin's budget message and recommended general fund budget and capital improvement program, ordinance of appropriations for general fund, ordinance concerning appropriations in the capital improvement fund, ordinance the tax levy on list of October 1st, 2020, that has a virtual hearing date of Wednesday, April 28th, 2021 at 6 p.m. to the Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee. Item number 2, to the Operations Budget Government and Government Accountability Committee, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution requesting that the multi-year plan of $116,698,000 for the use and allocation of the local and county relief funds under the American Rescue Plan is approved. Item number 4, to Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a fiscal year 2019 Homeland Security grant in the amount of $60,000 from the State Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection to the Quality Life and Public Safety Committee. Item number 5, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept the fiscal year 2020 prosecuting cold cases using DNA agreement in the amount of $147,534 from the State of Connecticut Division of Criminal Justice to the Quality Life and Public Safety Committee. Item number 6, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a fiscal year 2019 Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $185,614 from the United States Department of Justice to the Quality Life and Public Safety Committee. Item number 7, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the acceptance of $600,000 from the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for construction of the North Main Streetscape. The funds are from the State Bond Commission and are being administered through an Urban Act grant to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee. Item number 23, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution that will place the additional funding should it be included in the state budget that is ultimately adopted by the General Assembly and signed by the governor into the city's capital improvement plan budget for investments in the city infrastructure, including but not limited to parks, traffic calming, streets and sidewalks, and public safety radio infrastructure to the Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee. Item number 24, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution that will authorize the city to utilize $5 million, which had been set aside in committed fund balance for addressing economic uncertainty to the Capital Region Development Authority for the purposes of providing loans that will allow us to return city-owned property back on the tax rolls to the Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee. Item number 25, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution that will allow us to move forward with remediating city-owned blighted property, including but not limited to 270 Albany Avenue and adjoining retail properties. These properties were recently acquired by the city through a tax deed sale to the Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Councilman Gale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to note that my understanding is with respect to item number 2, for any members of the public that are interested, the mayor intends to discuss this at the public hearing that will be held on April 28th. This is now being affectionately known as ARP, A-R-P. This is the $116 million that we are slated to receive from the federal government. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gale. Councilwoman Bermudez.
Thank you. Through you, Council President. I just want to note that I'm specifically discussing these 2 items. Item number 4, which has to do with grants being received for Homeland Security. And then item number 6, grants through the Justice Assistance, which has to do with prevention, resource, and crime. And so for those 2 items in particular, I'm very happy that we are referring them over to the Public Safety Committee. So for any community member that's watching that would like to send us questions in advance that you would like for City Council to ask of our Hartford Police Department in reference to these grants or to the administration, please make sure to connect with us. You can reach out to us by email. You can find our emails, hartfordct.gov. Those are 2 in particular that I am flagging, and I'm looking forward to receiving more information given the history of how Homeland Security was set up to begin with in this country following 9/11 and the many things that have resulted out of that. So that being said, please reach out to us if you have particular questions that you would like us to ask.
Are there any further discussions? Any further discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we postpone the following items until our next council meeting, which will be May 10th, 2021. Item number 9, Quality Life and Public Safety Committee, communication requesting that the Director of Department of Emergency Services and Telecommunications, along with Hartford's Chief Operating Officer, will provide an updated report at the next scheduled Quality Life and Public Safety Committee meeting on the assistance of the firefighter grant AFG. Item number 19, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing the city to execute the terms of a tax lien sale at 20 Sargent Street. That should not be right. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yep. Item 19, sorry, was 19, I'm sorry. Was 19 placed on the consent calendar?
No.
No.
All right, so this is right. Item number 19, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing the city to execute the terms of a tax lien sale at 20 Sargent Street with 20 Sargent Street LLC owned by Max Katari. Item number 20, Ordinance amending Chapter 2, Appointments of the Department Heads, Requirements, Section 850, Residency Requirements of the Municipal Code. Item number 21, Ordinance amending Chapter 27, Itinerary Vendors, Street Vendors, and Food Trucks of the Hartford Municipal Code.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Councilwoman Surgeon.
Through you, Madam Chair, I thought item number 19 went to committee, the OMB committee, and that was voted out of committee. Am I mistaken?
I'm sorry, which one was that, Councilman?
Item
Clark?
number 19. That's being postponed. I thought it went to the OMB committee. It was on the agenda. I thought we had a committee meeting on that.
We did, I think that, I'm sorry, Madam President.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Through you, I think there just was a mistake that item 19 actually is supposed to be placed on the consent calendar and not for postponement.
It's okay. We could go make a motion and
So,
consent calendar.
okay, so
Councilwoman Surgeon,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I just want to correct my notes here. So we're going to put 19 on the consent calendar,
Yes, that is correct.
and we will not postpone this.
That is correct. Councilman Sanchez.
Yes, I think we have to make a motion. So I'd like to make a motion to withdraw item 19 from the postpone motion and a second motion to add it to the consent calendar.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second to remove item number 19 from the postponed calendar. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll on that motion, please?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll on the postponed items?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
I think Councilman Sanchez had something to say.
Councilman Sanchez?
Yes, through you, Council President. I'm not sure if it's correct, but can we make a roll call on the motion to place item number 19 on the consent calendar.
Well, we still have a motion on the postponed calendar. So once we
Okay,
pass that motion, then I'll hand the floor over to Majority Leader and he can make that motion for the consent calendar.
thank you.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
So we'll just make sure what I'm voting on. So we're voting on the postponement of item 9, 20, and 21.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes,
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place item 19 to include item 19 on the consent calendar, which is the Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution authorizing the city to execute the terms of a tax lien sale at 20 Sergeant Street with 20 Sergeant Street LLC owned by Max Katari.
Second the motion?
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
yes,
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And for clarification purposes, I know that we've been going back and forth on some of the items. We did start the meeting today at 7:15. We have had some computers that have crashed, and so apologies for going back and forth, but I think we are now all set. With that said, Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we enter into executive session to discuss item number 8, which is Mayor Bronin with a company resolution requesting that the council enter into executive session during the council meeting on April 26, 2021. A brief session is necessary in order to discuss the potential resolution of the 62-64 Kenyon Street versus the City of Hartford matter.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions on executive session? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now if my council colleagues could log off this call and log into executive session, and to members of the public, we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, we are back live. We just came out of executive session. Councilman Clark, Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on item 8, which is Mayor Bronin with the company resolution requesting that the council enter into executive session during a council meeting on Monday, April 26, 2021, to take action on the resolution of 6264 Kenyon Street versus the City of Hartford matter.
I move that we approve the settlement.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. With that, that concludes our meeting for this evening. I'm calling this meeting adjourned. Thank you to the members of the public, my council colleagues. Everyone have a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
April 28th, we got public hearing on the budget.
Yes, we do.